you're finding yourself grabbing your phone first thing in the morning and getting lost in reels for hours, only to feel lazy after eating and going back to sleep, this video is for you. I'm not here just to make another self-improvement video. I want to share my journey with you. 3 years ago, I felt like I had no purpose, spending 8 to 10 hours a day staring at my phone screen, feeling drained and lost. Have you ever noticed that when you mindlessly scroll through Instagram like a zombie, you end up feeling regretful afterward? You know, that sinking feeling of realizing how much time you've wasted, especially when you see posts from girls just trying to grab your attention by showing off their bodies, and despite your intentions, you can't help but click. And then what happens? You feel regret. This is how we fall into the social media trap. These apps are designed to keep us hooked with provocative content, making us spend more and more time on them. After spending hours scrolling, your important tasks remain undone. And by the end of the day, you feel like you've wasted it. That regret acts like an alarm, telling you that what you're doing isn't right. It's a waste of time. To escape this regret, we seek instant happiness or a dopamine rush. And guess what? We end up repeating the same actions that caused us regret in the first place. It temporarily numbs our regret, but as soon as the dopamine wears off, negative thoughts creep back in, and we seek comfort to ease our pain. It's a temporary fix for a deeper issue. When we're feeling empty and have nothing to do, sometimes we turn to activities like masturbating in the bathroom. Simply put, instead of addressing our pain, we seek temporary comforts. Anything that helps us escape reality and forget our problems is called addiction. It's not just about alcohol or cigarettes. If you escape reality with social media, food, or sleep, you're still in that cycle. You might wonder why someone doing all this seems happy. Let me explain with an example. Imagine potatoes boiling in a pressure cooker. As the pressure builds up, you release the steam with the valve, and all the pressure inside is released. Because of this, the potatoes inside the cooker can't cook properly. In this analogy, you are the pressure cooker, and the pressure is the pain. The valve you're releasing is the addiction, which you use to forget all your pain. So, the first step is to stop doing everything that releases pressure from your life. Remove all addictions like Instagram, TV, porn, oversleeping, gaming, masturbation. All those things that give you instant pleasure. When you stop doing these, you'll truly begin to play the real game of life from here. Point number 3. I've heard from countless people saying, I can't do anything. No matter how much someone motivates me, I'll remain lazy, lying in bed all day with thoughts of death at night. To all those stuck in such situations and plagued by such thoughts, I want to say this. The day you feel a fire under your behind, you won't need any motivation. The challenge is that every time the fire lights up, you jump into water. What I mean is, all these talks about addiction are just putting out your fire. Let me tell you what happens when you stop extinguishing the fire inside you. Every second feels like an hour as you crave for your next fix. You'll feel like crying, but remember, this agony will turn into fuel. This pain will eventually empower you to change your life. You'll start believing that you deserve better than where you are right now. You may not know what to do next, but you know that what you're currently doing isn't right. I need to break free from all these things because they're causing me a lot of pain. Here's an example to help you understand. Imagine you're trapped in a room with a fire blazing and you need to find a way out. In that room, there's also a bottle of alcohol. Now you have two choices. Either you drink that bottle and pass out, ending the struggle, or you smash that bottle and focus all your energy on finding a way out of that room. If your sole focus is on getting out of that room, you will definitely find a way out eventually. And this is the attitude you must adopt in your life. If you understand this example and apply it to your real life, no one can stop you from bringing about a revolution in your life. If you haven't realized this yet, the thing you're considering happiness might not actually be happiness, but intoxication. If you haven't realized this, it's okay. I can help you understand. First, understand that there are two types of happiness. The first type is the kind that is easily obtainable. This is the kind of happiness that many people our age are caught up in, such as food, sleep, reels, porn, and masturbation. This happiness doesn't require much effort to obtain. On the other hand, there is the kind of happiness that requires hard work to achieve, such as earning money, getting a car, acquiring status, etc. This type of happiness necessitates effort. Now, the discussion is about to get very interesting, so listen carefully. After experiencing these small pleasures, we realize that even after enjoying them, our inner sadness doesn't go away. On the other hand, we are unaware of the bigger pleasures in life. Many people our age might think that after experiencing these big pleasures, all our inner sadness will completely disappear, but that's not the case at all. For example, if you didn't have a mobile phone or laptop in your childhood and you really wanted one, you might have desired it desperately, but once you got it, it only brought you joy for about a month, and then its importance diminished. The same thing happens with a car. Initially, it feels great for the first month, but after that, it just collects dust. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that these things are unnecessary. What I mean is that if you buy these things to make your inner pain go away, that won't happen. You're simply using these items as a temporary escape, which will wear off after a while, and the sadness that was always there will return. Whether it's small pleasures or big ones, experiencing them won't eliminate your inner pain because you're never truly addressing the pain. You're just covering it up with pleasure. So keep this in mind. There are three types of people in this world. The first type is those who continue to indulge in small pleasures while enduring their sadness. The second type is those who have moved past the temporary joy of small pleasures, either because they don't have access to them or because they are now chasing bigger pleasures. The third type is those who have experienced both small and big pleasures and have realized that these do not resolve their inner pain. They understand that the first step is to get beyond these pleasures and then to identify the real cause of their suffering. Now, the real question is, what should we do? We have learned that no matter what we acquire from the outside, it won't eliminate our inner pain. Now we will look within ourselves and see what shortcomings we have and where we are stuck. We will do everything that has the potential to free us from our suffering. We will break free from all the physical and mental constraints we are bound by. The focus is not on passion, hobbies, or money. It's solely about whether we are finding relief from our pain or not. The question is whether we are continuously evolving or remaining stagnant, as staying stagnant only perpetuates suffering. If you understand what I'm saying, you should also understand why our ancestors preferred to have their necks cut off rather than bowing down. You should also understand why Lord Krishna told Arjuna not to think about whether he would lose or win, but to fight the battle. Even if death comes, accept it, but fight, or else you'll suffer throughout your life. We too have to fight not to gain something, but because living as we are now does not bring us any happiness. We don't know where our destination is, but we know that where we are now is not our destination. However, here's the key point. We have realized that as long as our inner pain persists, nothing can stop us from achieving our goals. No one can prevent us from moving forward, but this is where we get stuck because there will always be someone trying to distract us from addressing our inner pain. Someone will say, just relax, watch Instagram, there's a great meme, check out this girl's video, or watch a movie, or go out for a walk. If you follow these distractions, no one will be able to save you. And now what I'm going to tell you is even more important. Point number 5. Do you think that just by following what I've shared, your life will change and all your problems will be solved? It's not that simple. No movie becomes a hit unless the villain is more formidable than the hero. If you're thinking of yourself as the hero after hearing my words, remember that the villain in your life is 10 times more formidable than you are. Spider-Man is one of the most beloved heroes in the world because his life is filled with more challenges than his status would suggest. He knows that the villains he faces are more powerful than he is, but he still fights and doesn't give up. He falls twice, gets back up, and eventually wins. This teaches us that we must face every difficulty with courage, no matter how big it may seem. So that's the hero's story. Now let's talk about the villain in our lives, which we identified in point number 1, and that is addiction. Now let's give it a new name, Maya. Maya and addiction are the same because both make us feel that what we see and what we have is the ultimate reality. They give us the illusion that holding on to these things is the key to getting what we truly desire. But when the veil of Maya or addiction is lifted from our eyes, we realize that what we thought was true was actually a lie. Now in front of us is our reality, which is harsh but true. This reality of our lives may seem dry and devoid of pleasure or dopamine. So here's what you need to understand. Once you quit addiction, the pain becomes apparent. You're now facing this pain and gradually freeing yourself from it. Even though this process involves a lot of suffering, as you move forward, the inner voice of Maya will try to distract you. It will say, "What are you doing? Just follow your desires. After all, who's stopping you? What's the point of all this effort? You might not get anything out of it. At least you're getting some pleasure from watching reels or movies." Think about that pleasure. Maya will try to lure you back by reminding you of the temporary pleasures. But your response should be, yes, you're right. There is pleasure in staying submerged in you. The more I stay submerged, the more pleasure I get. But the suffering I endure is many times greater than the pleasure. I can't tolerate that suffering. You're right that there's no guarantee of getting anything out of this effort. I know you're trying to lure me back by showing the fear of getting nothing. I will walk this path even if I cry and suffer, but I'll be proud that I'm not where I was before, where I suffered. This is the response you need to give Maya. Every time you respond this way, Maya will lose. Resolve today that you will not endure false pleasures. If you must endure pain, let it be the pain that will truly guide you in the right direction. Every time a good alarm sounds, you must tell yourself, if I don't rise now, I will remain as I am. Today I will rise and work throughout the day on what genuinely improves my life. And lastly, if nothing seems to work despite eliminating all distractions? I will explain what to do in your free time in an upcoming video on our channel. So, subscribe to the channel and set the bell icon to all to be notified of new videos. Until then, goodbye.